All right, so the Happy Gilmore 2 trailer, right? I mean, the internet basically just exploded when this dropped, and everyone's freaking out about it.
Yeah, it's been pretty wild to see the reaction.
Oh, it's total nostalgia overload.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's going crazy for the return of these characters. And you know what? We dug into all the news articles, all the hype, and honestly, this doesn't feel like just some lazy cash grab sequel. It feels like they're actually trying to do something interesting here. So
Yeah.
today, that's what we're going to do. We're going to unpack this whole trailer. We're going deep. Who's back? Who's new? What does this even mean for a movie like Happy Gilmore? Which, let's face it, it's become a total classic. Ready to dive in.
Absolutely. What strikes me right away is the sheer, I don't know, the emotional response to seeing some of these characters again.
Right.
It really shows how much the original movie still means to people.
Oh, 100%. And they don't waste any time. Right off the bat, there's Happy, still rocking that Bruins jersey. But then, they hit you with this. A bust of Happy right alongside, like, Golf legends.
It's a statement, for sure.
It is. Instantly, you're like, wow, in this world, Happy made a serious impact on the sport.
Yeah, they set up this idea of Happy's legacy, right? And then he drops that line, I haven't swung a club in years. I don't know where to start. It's such a great hook.
It pulls you in, right?
It makes you wonder, what happened to Happy? Did he, I don't know, retire or something? Lose his touch?
Right. The mystery's there, and you're like, okay, I need to see this. And then, my friend, we get Virginia Venna. She's back.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like she and Happy are, still a thing. They shared this really sweet moment. For anyone who was, like, totally shipping them back in the original, this is a nice little wink,
It's like we're picking up their story, too.
Exactly. It's not just Happy coming back. It's, like, their whole world.
Mm.
And her line about seeing the Happy I fell in love with, that makes me think that maybe golf isn't just a game for him, this one. Maybe it's about finding himself again.
Oh, I like that. Reclaiming a part of who he is.
Right. Deep stuff. But let's be real. You can't talk Happy Gilmore without Shooter McGavin. It's like peanut butter and jelly,
It's the classic rivalry.
And Christopher McDonald is back, which means we all know that rivalry is going to be back in full force. Because what's Happy Gilmore without Shooter trying to mess him up at every turn?
I mean, so much of the comedy in the original came from their dynamic.
Absolutely. Shooter, he's like the uptight golf world, and Happy just barrels in and turns everything upside down.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the same without that clash, But that's the thing. I hope they don't just rehash the same jokes and conflicts.
Right.
Yeah.
Will they find a fresh take on that rivalry? That's the big question.
Exactly. Now, for me, this is where things get juicy, like really, really interesting. There's a blink and you miss it cameo from Ben Stiller. You remember him in the first one?
Oh, yeah.
The orderly at the nursing home? Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like full-on menacing.
Yeah.
It's a deep cut for the hardcore fans.
It is. It makes me think that, they really care about the little details of the original. They get it,
You're speaking to the people who, like, quote this movie every other day.
Yeah, exactly. Like a little reward for the real fans.
Right. But buckle up, because the nostalgia train doesn't stop there. We also get, and I still can't believe this, Blake Clark as Farmer Fran from The Waterboy.
Whoa, really?
Yes. Like, they even show him doing his signature arousing pose, I think one article called it, with the, nipple pinching.
Wow. That's a bold move. Bringing in a character from a whole different movie. Like, The Waterboy is not the same universe as Happy Gilmore, right?
Yeah, it's a total curveball. But it's risky, I mean, it could be hilarious. For the people who love Adam Sandler's, like, whole shtick, the recurring characters, they'll eat this up.
Yeah.
But for others, it might feel, I don't know, a little forced.
Yeah. Like they're leaning too hard on a certain type of humor. You know what I mean? And it might not land for everyone.
Definitely a risky move. But then we swing over to Paige Spiranac. So for anyone who might not be super familiar with her, Paige is, like, huge EE in the golf world.
Oh, yeah. She's a big deal.
Yeah, she's not just, some Instagram influencer. She was a pro golfer.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's got this huge following because she does all this golf content commentary. She's like the real deal, bringing a real insider's perspective on the sport.
It's smart casting, really. I mean, she's got that connection to the actual world of golf.
It's not just a random celebrity cameo.
No, not at all. She's got credibility. And it makes me wonder how they're going to use her in the story. In the trailer, we see her at a golf simulator with Happy. And even with all his, chaotic energy going on, she seems to be handling it pretty well.
Yeah, one article even said, like, she's matching his happy-go-lucky vibe.
Yeah.
And, she was also in that Netflix documentary, Full Swing, where she's, like, talking with all these top golfers. So it's almost like they're deliberately blurring the lines between the real world of golf and the Happy Gilmore world.
It is. It's like they're acknowledging the real sport, but in a comedic way.
Exactly. And it brings in a whole different audience, people who maybe follow golf or follow her, but aren't necessarily like diehard Happy Gilmore fans.
Yeah.
And speaking of the real golf world, dude, the cast list is packed with pro golfers. Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, Rory McIlroy, Scotty Scheffler, Justin Thomas, Will Zalatoris. Like, it goes on and on. What do you think that means, having so many actual golfers involved?
That's the big question, isn't it? Is it just going to be like a bunch of fun cameos, little winks for golf fans?
Like Easter eggs.
Right. Or is there something more to it? Are some of these guys going to have like actual parts in the story? Maybe Happy's comeback somehow ties into the current pro golf world.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Right. And with that many pros involved, you have to wonder if there's going to be some satire,
Ooh, that'd be good.
some commentary on like the whole state of professional golf today.
Yeah, like poking fun at the personalities, the drama, all of that. Yeah.
Exactly. But they have to be careful, right? It can't be too insidery or people who don't follow golf are going to be totally lost.
Right, right. Got to keep it accessible for everyone. Oh, and this little tidbit cracked me up. Apparently, Adam Sandler considered casting Travis Kelce as his son.
Wait, seriously? The tight end for the Chiefs?
Yeah. I mean, that would have been something else. It shows you they're not afraid to go big, you know? Just throw in these wild celebrity cameos and see what sticks.
It's very Adam Sandler, like just embracing the absurdity.
Total chaos. Imagine, like, Kels trying to give Happy golf advice. I mean, come on.
Mm.
So let's get back to the plot hints for a minute. We know Happy's, like, this golf legend now, right?
Okay.
But he hasn't played in forever. He says he's lost. What could have possibly made him walk away from the game like that?
Yeah, it's got to be something big, right? To make someone at that level just stop cold turkey.
Right. Maybe it's burnout. Maybe he got injured. Maybe something happened in his life that just made golf not matter anymore.
Yeah, and remember Virginia's line about seeing the Happy I fell in love with? It makes me think that him not playing golf, maybe it messed with him more than we realize.
Oh, like it changed him as a person.
Yeah. It wasn't just about not hitting a ball anymore. It affected his whole life, maybe even his relationship with Virginia.
It's giving deeper emotional stakes than we saw in the first one. Like the original, it was all about saving his grandma's house.
Yeah.
A clear goal. This feels more internal.
Yeah, definitely. It's about Happy rediscovering something in himself, finding his way back to, I don't know, his passion.
I like that. It's not just a sports movie. It's about something more. But, you know, this whole thing about bringing back Farmer Fran, it's reliant on nostalgia and a very particular brand of humor from The Waterboy.
Yeah, I mean, that movie was huge when it came out, but will those jokes still land today? It's been a while.
That's the million-dollar question. Will people still find it funny? Or will it just feel dated?
Right. Nostalgia can be a powerful thing, but it has to be done right. Otherwise, it just feels like they're trying to rehash the past.
And Paige Spiranac, she brings in that modern element, right? Like she connects with a whole different generation of fans.
Exactly. And that could be key to making this movie work. She's fresh, she's relevant. If they give her a good role, she could represent a different way of looking at golf, one that contrasts with Happy's whole style.
That's interesting. Like she's the voice of the new generation of golf fans, and Happy's like the old school.
Yeah, exactly. And the people who know Paige, they'll see her and they'll be like, okay, this is for me too. This isn't just my dad's favorite movie. And then there's all those pro golfers. Could that be a sign that the whole movie is going to be more satirical?
I hope so.
Like commenting on the world of golf itself, making fun of it a little?
Yeah, because they've got all the material they need, right? All those personalities, the rivalries, the whole scene.
It's ripe for comedy.
Right. So basically the big question is, can Happy Gilmore 2 be as funny and as beloved as the original, but also feel new and relevant for today?
Yeah. The original, it had this magic to it. It was silly, but it had a heart, and you really cared about the character.
It did. So can they bottle that magic again?
Yeah.
While also telling a new story, bringing in new jokes?
That's the challenge. I think they've got a good starting point. Bringing back the characters we love, that's huge. But the new stuff, how they weave it all together, that's going to make or break this movie.
Okay, so let's recap our deep dive into this trailer, shall we? We've got the return of Happy Virginia, Shooter, and the truly shocking return of Farmer Fran from The Waterboy. Then we've got Paige Spiranac bringing that modern golf connection, and a whole roster of pro golfers, which opens up a ton of possibilities for comedy and maybe even some satire. And at the heart of it all, there's Happy's comeback. Why'd he quit golf?
Mhm.
And what's going to bring him back? Lots of questions, but looks like it's going to be a fun ride, you know?
Absolutely. This trailer has people talking, and it really makes you think about how this movie could impact, not just fans of the original, but the whole comedy world, and maybe even like how people see golf itself.
So to you, our listener, we ask, what do you think the biggest challenge is going to be for Happy Gilmore 2? Can they capture the magic of the original while still feeling fresh and new? Is it all about balancing that nostalgia with modern humor? Or is there something else entirely? Let us know your thoughts, and in the meantime, we'll all just have to wait and see what happens when this movie finally drops.
I'm excited to see how it all plays out.
Me too. All right, that's going to do it for our deep dive today. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep it real, keep it funny, and keep on swinging.